Wait, get it? Yeah. Okay, good. Any other questions? Yeah.
Tôi biết là thị trường chứng khoán Mỹ thì không có cái giới hạn về mức giá tăng hay giảm trong ngày. Thì ví dụ như là giá thị trường đang là 10 đô, mình đặt giá mua là 9 đô, giá bán là 9 đô. Nhưng mà đến ngày hôm sau mở cửa ra xuống 5 đô rồi, không có cơ hội nào để có thể thoát được cái giá là 9 đô cả.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll talk more about that on Sunday about placing orders. But if the price is now at 10 and you have got a sell order at 9, for example, right? A stop sell order. If the price gets to 5, you will sell at 5. Yeah, right? So, yeah, so if the price is at 10 and you have a stop loss at 9, right? But if the price suddenly drops to 5, you will sell at 5. Because you will always sell at the market price, right? At or below the market price, right? So that is the danger of what can happen sometimes if the price suddenly gaps down, because it's a gap, right? So I'll teach you how to avoid that as much as possible, right? Avoid gaps, right? Because it can happen sometimes, right? Okay, so let's go back to this. So just now we talked about PEG ratio, okay? So let's look at a few examples. One of my favorite websites for US stocks is to go to Finviz, right? Finviz, this is my favorite website. I'll go to this a lot, right? Finviz. So let's look at a few examples. Let's look at this stock called Adobe. Adobe, their software. Okay, can you see Adobe? Alright, so can you see what is the
Wow.
what's the PE ratio? 53, do you see? Right, the P is 53, right? And what is the growth rate? The growth rate is this one. This one. EPS stands for earnings per share. Earnings per share is the profit per share for the next 5 years. So this is the growth rate that is projected for the next 5 years. This company will grow at 23.83%. Right? So that means this company will grow at 23% and the P is 53. So what's the PEG ratio? So what's the PEG ratio? It's this one, right? 53 divided by what? Divided by 23. Right? Equals to, I already calculated for you here. 2.26. So is this cheap or expensive? Very expensive, right? Okay. So let's look at another stock. And this stock is
Tại sao lại là đến 5 năm mà là không phải 1 năm?
So let's look at this other stock. This is a bank, right?
EPS.
BFRMB.
Next.
Okay, that's strange. Right? Okay, now let me pick another one. Let's pick Citigroup. Citigroup is a bank, right? Okay, so what is how about Citigroup? Let's look at Citigroup. So for Citigroup, what's the PEG ratio? The PE is what? 11, can you see? And the growth is what? The growth is 13%, right? So you take 13% divide by, sorry, you take 11.9 divide 30%, PEG ratio is? Is 0.86. Can you see? Alright, so based on fundamentals, based on logic, which one would you buy? Buy Citigroup, right? Because this is cheap and this what? This is expensive, agree? Right? So this is based on fundamentals. But how about based on technical? How about based on the chart? So now let's look at the chart. Alright, if you look at the chart, you look at Citigroup. What do you see? So you can see that here it's on a what? Uptrend, right? Can you see here? Uptrend? Yeah. But here now it's a what? It's a downtrend. Right? So see here is going right? So uptrend, right? Bullish, it goes higher. It's downtrend, you see? See downtrend? Right? Downtrend here. Okay. So here, if the downtrend continues, what will happen? Yeah, that means cheap can get cheaper. It can get cheaper, right? But the good news is for Citigroup, you can see right now there's a what? There's what we call a support here. There's a line here. You see support? Doing, 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 doing. So there's a strong support here. There's a support here, right? So you learn this data, and you can see that right now what has happened. This is the uptrend like that, right? And this is the downtrend. But it looks like now it is what? It is breaking out, right? So it looks like now it's going to start a what? Yes, it's now look like it's starting a new uptrend already, right? So this is actually a good time to buy Citigroup, right? Because it is cheap and it is a support and it looks like it's reversing back, right? But later we'll learn more about this, right? Now how about Adobe? Let's look at Adobe. This is Adobe. Okay, so you see Adobe is on a what? Strong? Yeah, very strong uptrend. Okay, see? Strong uptrend. So on an uptrend, based on technical, what do we do? Buy, right? But it's expensive, right? So you buy high, sell higher, right? So this one you can buy for short-term trading, but not for investment. Not for investment. Why? Because it's expensive. So to invest is very risky. But to trade, buy, sell fast is okay, but not to hold investment. You see the difference? Right? It's like imagine you want to go out with a girl, and this girl has very expensive taste. She only eat in the high-class restaurant. Right? Will you go out with her? Maybe one night. But cannot marry. This girl you marry, you die. Alright? So there's some girl you can go out one night, some girl for marriage, different. Same thing, some men good for one night, some men good for marriage. So same thing the stock. You must know which one good for one night, which one good for marriage. Different, right? In fact, Adobe, I just bought Adobe last week and I sold it yesterday. I've already sold it. Why? Can you see this here? This is a short-term trade. Can you see? Toing. You see here? So I bought it here and then I sold it here. Right? Very fast. Buy, sell. One night stand. Up. Okay? and yeah, this one I stand. And you can see clearly why I bought it. Right? You can see. Can you see this blue line? Can you see this blue line? That's support. See? Point, 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 up. So every time you hit the blue line, buy, 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 sell. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I just repeat the pattern. That's it. This is called trading, short term. Right? You look at the pattern. There's a certain pattern. Pattern there. Right? So all these you will learn. Right? You will learn later. Right? Okay. Any questions? Yeah, she looks really good. Interesting. Yeah, me. I did. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, you got a question? Question? Can you give me a mic? Faster. Mic.
Cái này mình biết là theo hướng dẫn thì S-1 thì giá cổ phiếu là hợp lý. Nhưng mà thầy có thể chỉ cái cách tính toán làm sao mà họ tính ra họ cho thấy là cái một đó là hợp lý này. Tại vì người ta đã tính ra được như vậy, nhưng mà làm sao để mình biết được như vậy là hợp lý.
What is the background of the knowledge? Okay. So the PEG ratio is based on what? It's based on this divided by this, right? Okay. What is this? It's the price. This is the price now. What is this? Earnings. This is the profit of the company. Right? So this is all from the company's report. And you can get all this from the website. Okay? Now what is this? This is the growth rate of the company, the projected growth rate. Now this one is just a projection. It's just a projection. Okay? So how is this calculated? This is calculated by many analysts. So there are many analysts who study the company. They study the company's future growth potential. Like how many products is the company making. So based on their calculation, they will calculate an estimated growth rate. So it's just an estimation. Alright, is it guaranteed? No, it's an estimation. It's like you married a girl, she said, I love you forever. It's an estimation. It's not a guarantee. But you still marry her, right? Yes.
Why we not divide by the growth of the past 5 years?
Yeah, okay. So we always take the future. Alright, we always take the future. We always look at the future growth rate. Yeah, you're not sure. Like if you want to take the past growth rate, you can do that. But I like to take the future. Because the past may not be the future. Sometimes the past growth rate may be very high, but the future growth rate may be very low. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like if you look at Apple in the past, the growth rate was very high. It grew about 50% a year in the past. By the future, will it grow 50% a year? I don't think so. So in the future, I think Apple will only grow at 15%. So if I take the past growth rate, it is too optimistic, right? Because in the past, Apple had Steve Jobs. He was doing very well. Now, it's different, right? So we always take the future, okay? But some companies, they don't have the future growth rate. They don't have it, right? So for most of the Vietnam companies, you can't find the future growth rate. So for that, you have to use the past growth rate, okay, as an estimation, right? So for Vietnam companies, you can use this website called investing.com. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, this one, investing.com. Okay, and I will show you more in detail later how to get to the page, alright? But let me just show you very quickly this stock called, okay, let's say we look at, which one was it? Yeah, okay, so fine. Let's say we look at a again, Vietnam dairy products, right? That makes Vietnam milk, right? So if you look at this stock, let's look at the PE. What's the PE? What's the PE here? Alright, so this is the Vietnam dairy, right? So the PE ratio is 28, right? So what is the growth rate? What's the growth? Okay, so like I said, we can't find the future growth of Vietnam company, but we can look at the past, the historical growth. So let me go down. Where is it? Hold on. Go to financials, ratios. This one. You see? This is the the last 5 years growth. So this company in the last 5 years, what is the growth rate? 9%. Right? And in the last 1 year, last 1 year, negative growth. That means last year to now, the company negative. But for the last 5 years, it grew at 9%. So, what is the PEG ratio? 28.55 divided by 9. Yeah, 3. Very expensive. Right? So it tells you that now, this stock very expensive. But, how about the trend? Is the trend up or down?
Up.
I'm not sure if I got it here. Vietnam dairy. No. Yeah, it's on a short-term downtrend actually. I'll teach you how to read this later. Right, you can see that the trend is right now is down. Can you see? Right, you make a top there, double top, break, now it's down. So it's actually a downtrend. Right? It's actually now it's a downtrend. So could it go lower? Yeah. Alright, it may probably go lower. And the next support is there. Right? Yeah, we'll learn about this later. Okay, so to summarize what we've learned so far, basically we look at valuation and trend. Okay? So if the stock is undervalued, right, like Citigroup, right, it's cheap, right? And if it's on an uptrend, what we do? Buy, that's the bet, right? So you can buy for investment or buy for trade, right? Now, what if the stock is undervalued but on a downtrend? That means it's cheap but it's on a downtrend. Well, you can don't do anything. That means don't do anything, right? Don't buy it, right? And you can also short sell it for the short term, short sell. Later I'll teach you what is short selling, right? Short selling means you sell and buy cheaper. So you will make money as it goes down. That's called short selling. Okay? Now what if it's overvalued and on a downtrend? Yeah, also you want to sell, right? Expensive and it's going down. So definitely you want to sell. Now what if it's overvalued and on an uptrend? Like example Adobe, right? You saw Adobe? Expensive but uptrend. Can you buy? Buy only for short time. Only for short trade. Yeah, but not long investment. Okay? I always say that when you buy something expensive, you are a fool to buy it. If you buy it, you are a fool. But you are hoping that a bigger fool would pay a higher price. So when I bought Adobe last week, right? I bought Adobe, I'm a fool. But I know a bigger fool will pay a higher price. So I sell to the bigger fool. Understand? That is called the greater fool's trade. Yeah. Yeah.
Thưa thầy, hồi nãy cái câu hỏi của tôi đó là tại sao phép bằng 1 là nó giá cả hợp lý, còn cái việc tính ra cái tỷ lệ tăng trưởng mình giả sử rằng là tính hợp lý thì tính đúng đi, rồi mình tính ra cái tỷ lệ phép là bằng 1 thì cho là giá cả hợp lý. Thì xin thầy giải thích chi tiết là cái chỗ đó là sao nó hợp lý.
Oh, it is written in all the finance books. It is not something I invented. It is written in all the finance books. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, how do you make money from the stock market? There's 3 ways to make money. The first way is through capital appreciation. This is the profit you get when you sell the stock at a higher price than the price you bought it. Okay? So, for example, excuse me. So let's imagine the price is $10 now, and you believe the price will go up. Why do you think it will go up? Because maybe it's a good business, maybe it's undervalued, maybe it's on an up trend. So you are bullish. You are what? You are bullish. Remember, what does bullish mean? Bullish means you think it will go up. That's called bullish. Yeah? So what do? You buy at $10. So when you buy, it's a what? It's a debit. Because money go up. Okay? And in the future, you sell at a higher price. So when you sell, it's a what? When you sell, it's credit, right? So you minus 10 plus 20 is $10. So you make $10 profit. Alright, so you buy low, sell high. Or buy high, sell higher. Alright? So this is called going long. Right? It's called what? Going long. So going long means buy to sell higher. That's called going long. Right? So this one we all understand, right? Okay. So when do we go long? We go long when we are bullish. Okay. So that's the first way to make money. The second way to make money is by collecting dividends. Collecting dividends. What is dividends? Dividends is when some companies, they pay out a percentage of their profits as dividends to their shareholders about 4 times a year. So some companies, when they make profit, what do they do with the profit? They will give you the cash. They will give you part of the cash once every 3 months. Alright, and that's called dividends. Now, do all companies pay dividends? No. Okay? What kind of companies pay dividends? What kind of companies will pay dividends? Companies that are normally very mature. That means they are companies that are very established and they do not grow very much anymore. Why? Because they make all the profits, right? They have nowhere to invest. So what do? They give it back to you. They give you back the cash as a shareholder. Okay? Now, companies like Amazon, like Alibaba, like Facebook, like Tesla, right? Do they pay dividends? Do they give dividends? No. Why? Because these are called growth companies. They're called what? Growth companies. They are growing very fast. So all the profit they make, what happened? They need to reinvest. They need to reinvest to grow and grow, so they cannot give you back the money. You understand? So when you buy a stock, you must know, why are you buying it for? Are you buying for the capital gain. Are you buying for the price to go up? If you're buying for the price to go up, then don't expect them to pay dividends, right? Because they want to invest to grow faster. Okay? But if you buy a stock for dividends, then don't expect the price to go up very much. It will go up, but slowly. You understand? Right? So example like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, these companies, they will pay dividends. Right? Because they are already very big. So they can't grow anymore. So all the money they make, they give you. Right? So if you're buying company for dividends, you want to calculate the dividend yield. Okay, the dividend yield. Alright, so you take the total dividends, divide by the share price. So for example, if the company, if the share is $20 and they pay $2 every year dividend, so what is the dividend yield? 10% yield. Okay. Now normally I would say if you want to buy companies for dividends, then it's better to buy local companies in Vietnam or even in Hong Kong or in Asia, right? So for me, when I buy companies in US, I do not buy for dividends. Why? Because they charge 30% tax on dividends. And normally the dividends is very low for US company. So normally for dividends, I buy Singapore company. Because Singapore company is tax-free. The dividends is tax-free. And they tend to pay more dividends. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay. Later tonight, I'll show you how to find companies in Vietnam with high dividends that pay dividends. Right? We'll look at it tonight. Are we okay so far? Right. Now the third way to make money is by short selling. Now short selling you can only do in US market and Hong Kong, but not in Vietnam, right? What does short selling mean? Short selling is selling a stock at a high price and buying it back at a lower price. Okay? So let's imagine the stock is at $20. Okay? You think it will go down. Why? Why do you think it will go down? Because maybe it's a downtrend, or the company is a lousy company, right? Or it's expensive. You think it's going down. So you want to make money. You want to make money. How do you make money? You sell. You sell at $20. But do you have the shares? No. So you have to sell something you don't have. How do you sell something you don't have? It's called short selling. So what happened is, in the US market, if you click sell, if you don't have the shares, what happened? The stockbroker will lend you the shares. They will lend it to you in 1 second, automatic. So imagine you're the stockbroker, right? I click sell, you lend me the shares. I borrow the shares, and I sell it. So when I sell it, what happens? When I sell the shares, I get credit $20, right? But is this my money? Can I run away? No, because I borrow the shares to sell. I must give it back. I must return the shares. So how do I return the shares? I already sold it. I must buy it back. I must buy the shares back. So I'm waiting for the price to go lower, then I buy back from the stock market. So maybe it go to $10. I say, I buy it back. So how much it costs to buy back? 10. So it cost me $10 to buy back. But I already have 20. So when I buy back, I still have $10 profit. So I buy the shares back and I return it to the stockbroker now. Return it to you. Okay? So I don't owe you anymore and I make $10. Okay? But why would he lend me the shares? Why would the stockbroker lend me the shares? I pay him a fee to borrow the shares, a borrowing fee. Alright? So the fee could be, depends, sometimes 1%, 2%, 3% a year. Right? Right? So we call this short selling. Alright? I'll teach you more later. Yeah? But again, you can only do this in the US market or Hong Kong. Yeah.
Maybe a dumb question, but why would stockbrokers lend you the share?
Why would they lend you the shares? Because they lend you the shares so you pay them a fee. A borrowing fee. Right?
Where does share come from?
Yeah, good. Where does the share come from? The share comes from another investor who parks the share with the stockbroker. Yeah. So this investor buy the share, and this investor lend it to the stockbroker. The stockbroker will pay him a fee, and the stockbroker will lend it to me and charge me a fee. It's like a bank. Yeah. So maybe the stockbroker will pay 2% and charge me 3%, and the stockbroker will earn 1%. Okay.
Thưa thầy, ngoài cái việc là nhà đầu tư lẻ nào đó gửi cổ phiếu cho nhà môi giới mượn cổ phiếu và nhà môi giới cho mượn tiếp một lần nữa, thì có cái trường hợp nào như là nhà đầu tư giao cho nhà môi giới mua bán luôn với cái tài khoản của họ, thì nhà môi giới có lấy cái cổ phiếu của cái nhà đầu tư mà giao cho cái nhà môi giới mua bán đó đem cho vay lại như vậy không?
It's up to you. It's up to you. So if you are an investor and you buy the shares, right? You can choose to lend it to the stockbroker, to lend it to other people. Alright? So if you choose to do that, they will give you a fee to lend your shares. It's up to you. You can choose not to do it, and you can choose to do it. Alright? Now, if you lend your shares to other people, you get a fee, right? Okay? But what if you want to sell your shares? No problem, you can sell it anytime. Anytime you can tell the broker, I want my shares back, and they will give you back your shares, because they will always have a pool of shares from many people. Yeah, they will be able to give it back to you anytime. Okay, so there's many investors who lend their shares to the broker. Why? To earn some extra income, to earn the lending fee. Right? Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah.
Ngoài cái trường hợp cho mượn, ý em muốn hỏi là nhà đầu tư giao hẳn cái tài khoản cho nhà môi giới mua bán luôn để hưởng một cái % lợi nhuận.
No, they don't give the account. They just lend shares of a particular company.
Tại vì em biết là ở Việt Nam thì có những cái hợp đồng cho nhà đầu tư giao hẳn cái tài khoản cho nhà môi giới luôn, và thỏa thuận là đảm bảo lợi nhuận bao nhiêu % đó tùy.
I don't suggest doing that. I don't suggest doing that. Because if they make a mistake and they do something stupid, you lose your money. For me, I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone except myself. That's why you come here, so you learn yourself. I don't trust anyone with my money, and I don't trust anyone with my wife. Everything else I trust. Okay, so this is called going long. This is called going what? Going short, right? So when I say go long means buy. Go short means? Okay, understand? Alright. Okay, so this is a bit of background. And you can see that in the long term, right, this is the compounded annual return of the different markets, right? So the US market, you can see, has the highest return in the long run. In the last 30 years, right, it grew at about 11.55%. Now your book may look a bit different because this is always updated. So this is the most updated figure, right? But it's similar. Okay? You can see Singapore, where I come from, is about 7%. 7% return. Hong Kong, which is China, is about 11% as well. Malaysia, it's very low. Now Vietnam is based only on the last 5 years, right? I don't have much data. So in the last 5 years, right, Vietnam's stock market grew at about 10%. Okay, so this should just give you an idea. When you put your money in the stock market, in the long run, what return you expect in the long run. You understand? Now, this 10% is what? Dong. Vietnam dong. This is US dollar. This is Singapore dollar. Understand? So if you invest in the US market, you get 11% US dollar, not dong. Different. Okay? If you look at this chart, not this one. Wait. Which one is it? Hold on. If you look at this chart, what do you notice? In the long run, the US dollar stronger against the dong. You see, this is how many years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, right? 10 years ago, 15,000 dong buy 1 US dollar, right? So imagine, last time you had 15,000 dong, you convert to $1 US. After 10 years, and let's imagine you bought a stock for $1. After 10 years, the stock did not go up. The stock did not go down. It's still $1. But now $1 convert back to dong is now 23,000 dong. So what does it tell you? When you invest in a country with a stronger currency, even if the stock don't go up, you still make money because the currency becomes stronger against your currency. You understand? So in the last 10 years, right, the US dollar increased against the dong by about 3.9% a year. So what does it mean? That means if you invest in the US market, you get what? On average, you get 11% a year plus 3.9%. So what is the actual return in dong? About 15%. That's right. So it means if you invest in the American company, in the long run, you get about 15% a year. You understand? Yeah, so you must think in terms of dong, right? Now, just to let you know, in Vietnam, you have got 2 stock exchange. Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh, right? 2 stock exchange. In America, they have got 30 stock exchange. 30 stock exchange, right? And the 3 biggest is the New York Stock Exchange, the American Stock Exchange, and the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, right? So when you buy stocks from the US, it is from mainly these 3 exchanges. Now you don't have to know which one it is. It's not important, right? Because when you buy and sell, it will come from one of them. Okay, but this is just so you know. Okay, in Vietnam, you have got about 1,200 companies. in the stock market. In the US, we have got more than 7,000. Okay? The performance of the stock market is measured by index. Okay? Different index measure the value and performance of different segments of the stock market. Okay? So, how does it work? So what is the index? Okay, everyone say index. So the index measure the performance of the stock market. Right? So for example, in Vietnam, you have got 1,200 companies. Out of all the companies, they pick what? The 30 biggest company. And they take the average price and call the Vietnam index. Right? Then in the US, they have got 7,300 company. Out of the 7,000, they pick what? The 30 biggest company. Right? Like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Cisco, Intel, Walt Disney, Boeing, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. Right? These are the 30 biggest companies. Apple, right? So you take the average price. What's it called? It's called the Dow Jones Industrials Average Index. So this is one index. Then, out of the 7,000 companies, they pick what? The 500 biggest companies, which the 30 are also inside. And it is called the S&P 500 Index. And out of the 7,000, they pick the 100 companies on the NASDAQ stock exchange. And this is called the NASDAQ 100. Okay? So in US, there's 3 index people look at, right? Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. Alright, so normally 3 of them move together. They normally move together. Right? So if they're going up, we say the US market is bullish. Going down is bearish. So this tells us the overall performance of the market. Okay? So right now, Vietnam is bearish, right? Right now it's bearish. US is bullish. Yeah? Singapore is also bearish. In fact, most of Asia, China now is bearish. US is bullish, right? So you must know which market is bullish, which market is bearish. Okay? Now these are the 30 companies in the Dow Jones. Okay? Now notice something. Do you use their products? Do you use Microsoft? Nike? Coca-Cola? Apple? Yeah. So although they are US companies, but they do not only sell to the US, they sell to everyone in the world. Everyone drink Coca-Cola. Everyone use Microsoft. These are global companies. So the Dow Jones represent what? It represents the 30 biggest companies in the world. It represents the global economy. Okay? How many of you would like a way where you are guaranteed 100% to make money from the stock market? Would you like to learn that? Yes?
Yes.
Very simple answer. What do you buy if you want guaranteed you make money? Just buy the Dow Jones! Because the Dow Jones is the 30 biggest companies in the world. It will always go up in the long run. In the long run, understand? So you buy this, you sure make money. But in the long run. That's it. Simple. But you do not buy the individual companies. I mean, you can buy the individual company, but what I'm saying is you buy the Dow. Because the Dow is always the best 30 companies. It's always the best 30. Right? Now, is it always the same 30 companies? Is it always the same? No, they always change. They change it. So if one company is no good, what happens? They drop out, they bring a better company. So it's always the best 30 companies. So when you buy the Dow Jones, it is always the best 30 companies. That's why it always go up. because the lousy company kick out and keep replacing by better company. Make sense? Yeah. So there. This is the 30-year performance of the US stock market. This is 30 years. Okay? So what do you notice? In the long term, always go up. But in the short term, it's like a roller coaster. Roller coaster. Every time you go up, it will go down. Every time you go down, go higher. Right? So take a look at this. Let's take a closer look at this. Let's go back 30 years ago. So you can see that in 1986, it was bullish, right? It's going up. Can you see? Going up? Going up, going up, going up, going up, right? It's going up here, right? So when it's going up, how do people feel? How do people feel? Excited, oh, the price go up, making money, right? And when people excited, they buy, right? So the trouble is, most people, when will they buy? They will always buy here before a crash. Because normally before a crash, people are very excited. It's like party, right? So it go up, go up, go up, go up. Now what happened is, when the price is going up here, what happened? Right? People think, everybody make money, I also want to make money, right? So they start to buy here. When everyone make money, they want to make money. So they buy that. And the moment they buy, what happened? So this is a crash. This is called bear market. It's called what? Called bear market. So when it's going down, how people feel? How people feel? Panic, fear. Oh my God, it's going down. Oh my God, losing money, losing money, losing money, losing money. Okay, lose money, lose money. Right? And what happened? Most people, once they are too scared, they will sell. And when are they too scared? They are normally too scared here. Once it drops so much, they say, I lose so much money, I cannot lose anymore, I cannot sell. Once they sell, go higher. Right? And what happens is that after they sell, when it go up, what happens? They cannot buy anymore. I cannot buy. I lose so much money, I cannot buy. Then you see go up, it keep going up, it keep going up. Then you see everyone make money. I also want to make money. Okay, I buy again. So they buy here. Then they go, make money, and they buy, oh my God, I'm going to lose my sale. After they sell, boom, up again. Right? That's why 90% of people lose money in the stock market. So the stock market always go up. Stock market always go up. But 90% of people always lose money. Why? Because they buy and sell based on emotions. They always buy when they are excited. They sell when they are scared. That's why they always buy at the worst time and sell at the worst time. You understand? So if you want to make money in the stock market, you cannot be driven by your emotions. You must buy and sell based on a plan, based on a strategy. Okay? So in this program, you're going to learn all the different strategy of when to buy and when to sell at the best time. Got it? Okay. Now, one thing you must understand is, okay, we understand what is uptrend. It's called bull market, right? Downtrend is called what? Bear market. Now, here's the good news. 90% of the time, the market is in a bull market. 90% of the time. And 10% of the time is in a what? Bear market. How long does bear market last? How long does it last? Yes. How long do you think a bear market lasts? 6 months to 2 years maximum. Every time a bear market, it will last 6 months to 2 years. And during a bear market, how often does a bear market happen? Okay, normally every 5 years, there's a small bear market. Every 10 years, there's a big bear market. This is a pattern. During a small bear market, it will normally drop 20%. Big bear market, it will normally drop 40 to 60%. So this is the pattern of the market. So if you take a look, this is how many years? How many years? This is 30 years, right? Where's the bear market? Can you see where's the bear market? Here. 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 These are bear market. So a bear market means it dropped more than what? 20%. That's called a bear market. Right? So you can see, right? This was a what? This was about this was about how many percent? This was about 50% drop. So 50%. This was about 20% drop. Right? This is about, this one is about 40% drop. Roughly. Right? This is what? This is 55% drop. So it's a big drop. Right? This one is about 20%. It's about 20%. It's about 20%. There you go. Okay? So, as an investor, if you're a long-term investor, then bear market, is it good or bad? Good. Why good? Opportunity to buy at a low price. So bear markets are good because give you chance to buy at a low price before it goes higher, isn't it? Right? Okay. Now, like I said, the index will always go up in the long run. Why will it always go up? Why is it every time it drop, it go higher, drop, it go higher, drop, it go higher? Why will it always go up? Why? Why will it always go higher? Because of inflation. Inflation always push prices higher and higher. So companies will always charge higher price, higher price. So their revenue will always go higher, profit always go higher. Number two, population. In the future, more and more people in the world. So more people drink Coca-Cola, more people eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. More people buy more computer. So the company always what? Growing. That's why the price always go up. And the third reason, like I mentioned, the 30 companies are not always the same 30 companies. They always change. So lousy company, drop. Put a better company. That is why it will always go up. Understand? Questions? Yes.
So what do they base it on?
Sorry?
What do they base it on? What is the best?
What do they...
On
Anyway,
turnover?
can we give a mic so I can hear? Mic. Hello, mic. Yeah.
Hi Adam.
Yeah.
The 30 best company, is it based on the valuation of the company or the profit?
Or how they choose the 30 companies? Yeah, it's based on valuation, it's based on performance, it's based on a lot of things, right? There's a committee that chooses it. Yeah. Okay. So this is the Dow Jones, and let's take a look at the S&P 500. Okay, this is the Dow Jones, this is S&P. S&P. So does it look the same? It looks the same, right? So yeah, they move together. Okay. Right? Okay, this is the Vietnam stock market for the last 5 years. So again, you can see, again in the long run, will the Vietnam stock market go up? Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because number one, in Vietnam you have inflation. Number two, you have got population growth. Guarantee it will always go up. The stock market in Vietnam will always go up in the long run. But again, in the short term, you have what? You have got uptrend, sideways, downtrend, uptrend. It goes through cycles. Okay? So same thing in Vietnam, you have bull market and you have what? Same everywhere. Okay? So again, you have to have a strategy to make money. And do not buy and sell based on emotions. Then you always lose money. Alright? Okay, so far? Okay, now, in the stock market, you can buy individual companies, right? So you can buy Vinamilk, you can buy McDonald's, you can buy Coca-Cola, you can buy individual companies, right? Now, you can also buy a group of companies into one, right? So we call this exchange traded funds. Exchange traded fund, or we call it ETF. It's called what? ETF. So when you buy an ETF, what does it mean? That means you don't buy one company, you buy 500 companies into one, or maybe 30 companies into one. Right? It's like you buy a basket into one. Right? That's called an ETF. So instead of buying stocks in a single company, you can buy ETFs that comprise of a group of companies, of stocks or other assets. Okay? So ETFs usually track a particular index. Okay? So for example, what does it mean? Like, this is the S&P 500. So what is this index? This is the 500 what? This is the 500 biggest companies in America, correct or not? So, if you want to benefit from this, what can you do? Buy the S&P 500 ETF. What does it mean? That means now you don't buy one company, you buy 500 into one. So that's called the S&P 500 ETF. Okay? You can also buy the Dow Jones ETF. Means you buy the 30 into one. So that's an ETF, right? So you can buy stock or you can buy ETF, right? What is the good thing about buying an ETF? What is good about buying an ETF compared to one company? What's good about it? Okay. Yes, so the good thing is that when you buy 500 companies, your risk is what? Is less, right? Because you buy one company, if you choose wrong, it goes down, you die. Right? Like imagine you buy Apple. You buy Apple, but then Apple, maybe the CEO died. Right? Or the new phone, people, and then it's like last time Nokia was a very good company, right? But what about Nokia? Now nobody uses Nokia. Right? So if you invest in Nokia, now you die. Last time people loved to use BlackBerry. Remember BlackBerry? Very popular now. Nobody uses BlackBerry. Last time, many years ago, people used Sony TV, Sony Walkman, Sony Music, right? Now it's what? Samsung. Now it's LG, right? From Japan, now it's all Korea, yes or no? So if you invest last time in a Japanese company, what? Now you lose money. Right? So the danger in invest in one company is, if you pick the wrong company, you die. So ETF means you pick not one, you pick all into one. So if you buy the technology ETF, what does it mean? That means you buy all the technology company. You buy Alibaba, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Twitter, all into one. So what's good? One die, no problem. You still have got 300. Okay, so that's why ETF. Alright? So in the market there are many index. So in the US, again, what are the index in the US? You have what? Dow Jones, S&P, and what? NASDAQ. Okay. So each index has got an ETF you can buy. So this is the Dow Jones ETF. Okay, what is the name of the ETF? It's called the DIA. This is the name of the ETF, DIA. Right? The S&P 500 ETF is called the SPY. It's called the what? SPY. Right? The NASDAQ ETF is called the QQQ. Right? So triple Q. Correct. So if you want to invest in the whole American stock market, you can buy the DIA or buy the SPY or buy the triple Q. Up to you. Okay? So for me, for my long-term investment, right, I just buy the SPY. For long-term investment, I just buy the SPY. So for my children, every year they get this ang pao money. Do you give ang pao here? Chinese New Year, you give ang pao? Yeah. So every year my children get money from all the relatives. So I get them to put all the money into the SPY every year. So every year they put money into the SPY. So for many years the money will grow. You understand? Anyone knows what is this FTSE 100? This is London. So this is the US, is London. So the FTSE 100 is the London index. It's the 100 biggest companies in the London Stock Exchange. So if you want to invest in London, you can buy what? The FTSE 100 ETF. Right? How many of you believe China is a good investment? That China will be the biggest market in the world. Right? So I also believe in China. China has got very strong growth. So I buy the China ETF. Right? China ETF. Right? There's many China ETF, many. The one I buy is called the GXC. This is the China ETF which I buy. Right? Because it's the biggest ETF, GXC. Later I'll show you the chart. Right? I also invest in Hong Kong. Right? Hong Kong is also China, right? So you can buy the Hang Seng ETF. If you believe in Australia, you can buy the Australia ETF. You can also buy the Vietnam ETF. And so every country has got what? Has got ETF. Alright? Any questions? Yeah, okay. A few questions. Let's take a few questions.
As I know, the Dow Jones is too expensive now.
Is it too expensive now?
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know?
I say that on the internet.
You see on the internet. Do not trust what you read on the internet. No, really. A lot of it is fake news. So I will teach you how to do your own analysis. Do not trust what you read. Yes, okay, then go on.
Is there any way to buy the Dow Jones cheap?
How to buy the Dow Jones index cheap? Yes. Wait for crash. Then you buy cheap. Yeah. If you think it's expensive now, then don't buy now. Wait for bear market. Drop 20%, 50%, then you buy. When will it happen? I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. Right? So when it happens, then you buy. Okay? Now, right now is the US market cheap? Right now is the US market cheap? No. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it very expensive? No. So can you still buy? Yes. China. Now China, is it cheap? Very cheap. Can buy? A bit. Because China now cheap but downtrend. Downtrend. So can get cheaper. So all this you will learn, right? Okay, yeah, next question. Oh.
Thầy cho em hỏi là ví dụ như tiền mình đầu tư á, ví dụ như mình để dành giống như thầy nói là cho con tiền thầy tiền lì xì để dành mua vậy thì có để stop loss hay không? Có đặt stop loss không? Nhưng mình invest mình có đặt stop loss.
No, no stop loss. No stop loss. For investing, we do not put a stop loss. Why? Because investing is you buy company which you know will always go up. ETF will always go up. Alright? And you hold long run, no stop loss. Stop loss is only for trading. Stop loss is a protection. Okay, give example. If you get married, you don't use protection, right? you one night stand, better use protection. Same. Next one.
So my question is, where the profits come from when you buy ETF is from the capital appreciation
Of all the companies.
and even how about the dividend?
Yes. ETF also pay dividends.
So the growth of S&P 500, for example, it change like that's growth is not the same anytime. So
Yeah.
for example, now I buy the ETF and SPY,
Yeah.
and next year,
Yeah.
or by the end of the year,
Yeah.
I get the dividends from the growth of 500 bigger company.
Yeah.
And it's different from when I buy it. So
Yeah, it keeps changing.
Depend on the time I get the profits, not the dividend of the company, or it's depend on the time I
Okay.
buy.
You see, the ETF is actually a fund. It's a fund created. You see, what happens is there's a company. It's called a fund management company. This company, they create a fund. Okay? And what happened is these are the many people. Right? This is, you put money in the fund. Right? So they will take your money, they take all your money, and they will buy the 500 companies. They will buy the 500 companies. Right? And of course, they will change it sometimes. So if the S&P 500 changes, one company, they will then change the company. Right? So when this company grows, your money will grow. When these companies pay dividend, the fund will collect the money and pay it back to you. You understand? Yeah. Alright? Yeah, let's take one more question. Yeah.
Xin cho em được hỏi là nãy thầy có nói về mua ETF đó là nó có cái lợi là giảm về rủi ro á, thì có thể nói thêm về cái bất lợi của cái việc mua ETF.
Yeah. So the con is it will not grow as fast as compared to you buying a very good stock. Do you understand? It's like you have one wife versus you're the king, you got 100 wives. What's the good thing about having the 100 wife? If one wife bad mood, you have another wife. Right? If one wife not angry, never mind, you still got 99 wife, right? So that's the good thing about having 100 wife. But what's the bad thing about having 100? yeah, you're getting the average of all, right? So if one does very well, you know, okay, for example, two people, one person buys Amazon, buy one stock called Amazon. This person buy all the 500 companies, right? Who will make more money? Amazon, because Amazon go up, but the 500 some go up, some go down. So there's always a balance, right? So for me, what I tend to do is for long term I buy ETF. But for short term, fast, I buy the stock that I see has high growth. Okay? That's the difference. So I always buy, I have both. Okay? Yeah. So all these, okay, so whether you want to buy the stock or the ETF, they are listed on the stock market. How do you buy it? How do you buy it? You buy through a what? Stockbroker. You need to use a stockbroker to buy it. Okay? So on Sunday, I'll share with you what are the stockbroker you can use. There's many stockbrokers, right? They're all online brokers. So you can open an account with the broker and you can buy and sell through the stockbroker. Okay? But most of the ETF is listed in the American stock market. Most of the ETF. Yeah.
Chào thầy ạ. Thầy cho em hỏi chút là theo thầy phân tích thì giữa index và ETF thì có rất nhiều điểm giống nhau, tuy nhiên là thầy có thể chỉ rõ hơn về cái sự khác biệt để có thể nhìn rõ giữa hai cái chỉ số này. Xin cảm ơn thầy.
You cannot buy the index. The index is just a calculation. The ETF is a fund that you can buy. So the ETF is always based on the index. Okay? So you cannot buy the index, you buy the ETF. The ETF is follow the index. Right? The index is just a calculation of the 500 companies, the average price of 500 companies. It's just a calculation. The index is the average price of the 500 companies. It's just a calculation. The ETF is the fund that you buy that follows the index. Okay? Now, so first, you can buy what? ETF that follow the whole market. You can also buy sector ETF. Sector ETF. What do you mean by sector ETF? So, this is the whole market. Right? This is the whole US market. But in the whole market, you can divide into what? Into sector. So example, you have got financial sector. You've got technology sector. You've got healthcare sector. You have got industrial sector. You have got real estate, property sector. You have got energy sector. You've got consumer staples, which is like food, right? You also have got consumer discretionary, which is luxury goods, right? So there's many sectors, understand? So every sector has what? An ETF, yeah. So you've got healthcare ETF, you've got financial ETF, technology ETF, and all those things. So you can buy the whole ETF of the whole market, or you can buy a sector ETF. And in a sector, let's say this sector here, this is one sector, right? Can divide into what? Industry. Like under technology, you can divide into robotics. You can divide into software. You can divide into AI, artificial intelligence. You can divide into semiconductors. You can divide into cyber security. Right? So these are all different type of business. And for each type also have one ETF. You understand? So like for me, I believe that in the future, robots will take over many jobs. And companies that sell robots will make a lot of money. So what do you think I buy? I buy the robot ETF. I buy the robot ETF. That means the ETF I buy has all the robot company into one. Okay? So let me summarize for you. So I buy the SPY. What is SPY? Yeah, it's the US ETF of the 500 companies. I also buy the GXC. What's this? China ETF. So this ETF follow the Shanghai Composite Index. I also buy the EWH. What's this? This is the Hong Kong ETF. Right? I also buy this ETF called Robo. What is Robo? Yes. This is the robotics ETF that track all the robot company. Right? I also buy this is called BOTZ. This is the artificial intelligence AI. AI ETF. I also buy the VNQ. This is the real estate ETF. So this ETF, it buy what? This ETF is what? All the property of the United States. Right? All the property is here. So when the US, the property price go up, this ETF will go up because it follow all the property price. Right? So this is more for investing because in long term, this one I know will always go up in long term. Right? Yeah. Any questions?
Cho em xin hỏi là cái ETF này thì nó liên quan đến chỉ số của ETF đó. Em muốn biết là cái quy đổi giữa cái chỉ số của cái ETF đó ra cái giá của ETF đó là như thế nào, và cụ thể hơn như là khi mà cái chỉ số Dow Jones chẳng hạn nó tăng lên thì bình thường thì cái giá của ETF Dow Jones nó sẽ tăng lên, nhưng mà nếu như người ta không mua theo cái chỉ số tăng lên đó thì cái cổ phiếu ETF Dow Jones của mình nó có tăng giá lên, có tăng lượng tiền lên không?
Okay, let me show you this example so you get a clearer idea, right? Okay, now this is the chart where you can see all the different prices of the stock and the ETF. Okay, so this software is Think or Swim, right? Do you download? So this is also a stockbroker. So you can buy and sell through this company as well if you want to, right? So let me show you an example. Okay, so let's look at what's this? This is the S&P 500 index. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, there. Let me take away the lines so it's clearer. Okay, there. Okay, so this is how long? This is how many years? This is 2 years, right? So this is the last 2 years. Okay, so this is the S&P 500 index. Okay, so what's the price now? What's the price now? 2804. You see? Okay, so can you buy this index? Can you buy this index? No. You have to buy the ETF. You have to buy the ETF. Okay. So what is the ETF?
SPY.
It's called the SPY. SPY. Okay. So now this index is 2804. So how much is the SPY? How much is the price of the ETF? You take this, divide by 10. So it's $280. Right? SP, what? This one? Can you see ETF? $20. There you go. Okay, so to buy this ETF now, it costs $280 for one share. Okay, for one share. You can use leverage if you want, but for long term, I don't really use leverage. Only for short term, I use leverage. Maybe it's not loading. Why is it so slow? Okay, anyway, it takes a while to load. So okay, anyway, understand? Right? Can you switch to the other chart? This chart is very slow. No wonder you went to the Rex Hotel. It's a bit cold, right? Is it cold? Yeah. It's too cold. Can someone change the aircon? Wait, let me see. Does it say that? Yeah, why is it so slow? Okay, let me restart. Let me restart again. Too cold, that's why I cannot start. Just sound too hot, not too cold. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so same thing. This is the This is the Dow Jones Index. Alright, this is the Dow Jones Index. So now what is the price? Now it's, what's the price? 25,000. Right? So can you buy this Dow Jones? No, you have to buy the ETF. So what's the ETF? Yeah. So right now the price of this ETF is $250 for one share. Right? Yeah. Okay. So if you want to look at China, China is this one, GXC. There. So this is the last 2 years, right? See, it's an uptrend here, and now it's going sideways. It's going sideways. Yeah. And you see there's a support here. Support. You see there's a support here. It's now a support. Right? So I'm hoping that, right, it will toing, and then continue on. But don't know yet. You have to see. Okay? If you look at the last 5 years, right, this is the trend, right? See, it's an uptrend, downtrend, uptrend. Right? Uptrend, downtrend, uptrend. Yeah. So any of the ETF here, you can look at it here, right? Okay. Now, besides that, you also have other ETFs. Besides ETF for stocks, you have got ETF for gold. Right? So if you are bullish on gold, you think gold price will go up, you can buy the gold ETF. Alright? Now, you also have got what we call short ETF. What is short ETF? What is the meaning of short ETF? So, this is the Dow Jones, right? So, if you buy the what? The Dow Jones ETF, you will follow, right? The ETF follow the index, right? Okay. Now, you also have got, so this, you also have got the short Dow Jones ETF. This is called the DOG. It's called the what? DOG. Woof woof DOG. Alright. So this one goes opposite of the Dow Jones. So Dow Jones go up, this one go up, this one goes down. It's opposite. So when do you use this? When do you use this? When the Dow Jones is going down, what happens to this one? This one go up. Yeah. So when the Dow Jones is on the downtrend, you can buy the DOG because the DOG will go up when the Dow Jones go down. That's why it's called a short ETF. So this one make money when this goes down. Understand? Okay? So let me show you this the DOG. DOG. The DOG. Woof, woof. So now the Dow Jones go up, right? That's why the DOG go down, opposite. But if you look at in the history when the Dow Jones drop, let me see, show you. Yeah. So this is during the recession, during the crisis, when the Dow Jones drop, the DOG go up. So when you go down, you buy the DOG. So the market go down, the DOG go up, you make money. So it's opposite, right? So in the stock market, you can buy ETF or the short ETF. You can always buy the long ETF or the short. So there's always an inverse version. You understand? So same thing. If gold, you think gold will go up, you buy what? Buy this ETF, GLD. If you see gold go down, you buy the GLL. This is a double short. Double short means what? It means gold go down 1%, ETF go up 2%. It's double short. It go opposite 2 times. Right? Oil. You know oil? Oil price, you think go up, you buy US gold. You think oil price go down, you can buy the DNO. This is the short oil. So oil go down, this one go up. It's opposite. You can also buy sugar ETF, commodity ETF, silver ETF, bond ETF, US dollar ETF. So you can buy ETF for almost anything. Almost anything has an ETF. Yeah.
Dạ, hồi nãy cái ví dụ là chỉ số Dow Jones là 25.064 và cái giá của ETF Dow Jones là 250. Như vậy có phải là có cái công thức quy đổi từ cái chỉ số Dow Jones cứ chia 100 là nó ra là cái giá của ETF Dow Jones?
Yes, divide by 100, yeah.
Dạ, như vậy có nghĩa là người bán chỉ số đó không quyết định về giá, chỉ quyết định về việc chấp nhận mua hay bán theo cái giá cố định từ công thức đó thôi hay sao?
The supply and demand decides the price, but the supply and demand will always be very similar to the Dow Jones divide by 100. Divide by 100, yes. Yes, it is not exactly, but it's very close. Ultimately, the price of the ETF is determined by demand and supply. Right? Like any other stock. Okay? Alright? Yes. Got 2 questions, yes.
Yeah, my question is when we buy ETF, we always can go long. We cannot go short, right?
Yes, we can go short. Yes,
So,
you can short the ETF, yes. You can short ETF, yes.
But in case we can go short, why we need to have the short, for example, short gold.
Yeah.
You have a gold than short gold, why?
Yeah. Why? Well, it's because someone created it. Yeah. Yeah. You can. So for example, you see, when the Dow Jones go down, right? This go down, right? So how do you make money? You can short this. So you can sell the DIA, short sell, and then later buy back the DIA. So you can short the DIA, or you can long the dog, or you can buy the dog and sell the dog. Yeah. So there's two ways to make money when it goes down. You either short the DIA or you go long the dog. Same thing. Right? Yeah. Another question? Yeah.
Vậy thì cái đó mình có thể làm double một lần, hai cái hành động đó chung một lần luôn, là coi như mình double cái lợi nhuận mình lên được mà. Và thầy có đang làm như vậy không?
No. No, I don't do that. You can just double the number of shares here, right? You can just double the number of shares here if you want to double it. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Yeah, let's take one more question. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hi Adam.
Yep.
Do you have any advice on buying lithium ETF or?
Buy lithium.
Yeah.
What's lithium?
No, the
Ethereum.
mineral. Minerals for batteries.
Or mineral, lithium. Oh. I've never seen that before. But you can check. Maybe there's an ETF for that. I don't know. You can go to Google and you can type lithium ETF. See if there is one. I don't know. Maybe there is. I'm not sure. I've never seen that before. Yeah. You can check it out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thầy cho em hỏi là cái ETF mà thí dụ như cái DIA là tập hợp của các cái công ty, một nhóm các công ty. Vậy thì cái short ETF thì là những công ty nào ở trong đó?
Same. It's the same 30. It's the same 30. It goes the direct opposite. Direct. Okay. Okay. So let's break for lunch. We come back at 1:40. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good rest. Have a good lunch. See you back at 1:40. Thank you.
Còn nhớ mật khẩu đăng nhập vào đúng không? Đăng nhập vào đúng không?
Lần gần nhất là chắc phải hơn 2 tháng.